You ever wake up on a Saturday, just trying to drink your coffee in peace, and by noon you've got the HOA president screaming at your dock, the sheriff's deputy scratching his head, and a tow truck idling like it's waiting to pull your entire life off the water? Yeah, that happened. And let me tell you right now, when I hung that brand new sign on my dock gate, I could feel the electricity in the air before I even heard Colleen Mercer shriek in her phone. "You cannot let him do this." She was standing there, platinum hair, catching the sunlight, already in full meltdown mode. The sign swayed in the lake breeze. Private dock. Owner only. HOA board members prohibited. Violators will be treated as trespassers. Behind Colleen, the entire shoreline ridge, HOA board clustered up like scared ducks, clipboards in one hand, casserole dishes in the other, blinking at my lock gate like I declared war on suburban order itself. Just behind them, a tow truck driver sat in his cab, looking like he wanted to melt into the upholstery rather than get in the middle of a lakefront land dispute. And right behind him, my boat, good old Muddy Blessing, bobbing peacefully in her slip, looking like she couldn't care less about any of this drama. Sheriff's deputy takes it all in, gives Colleen that look reserved for folks who call the cops over barking dogs and trash bins. "So let me get this straight, Miss Mercer," he says. "You try to order a tow for a registered boat from a dock you don't own, on property that belongs to?" He points his thumb at me. I just folded my arms on the railing and waited. "She called it a blight," the deputy says, nodding at Colleen, said it was too ugly for Shoreline Ridge standards. You could see her getting ready to launch into another tirade, jabbing that manicured finger toward my boat. "That thing doesn't represent the aesthetic vision of Shoreline Ridge at Pinewater," she says, voice dripping with contempt. The deputy just squints at my faded green hull, the battered motor, the old cooler tied to the bench. "Looks like a normal fishing boat to me," he shrugs. Neighbors are out by now, phones up, pretending to walk their dogs, but really just waiting for someone to throw a punch. I smile at Colleen, one of those slow, infuriating smiles. "So about that community dock you all like using for wine nights," I say, "maybe check the sign again." She goes pale, mouth moving but nothing coming out. "You can't ban the board," she whispers. "Oh, I can," I said. And I did. Let me back up a sec. My name's Nate Hollis. I'm a technical writer, which means I make a living turning legal jargon and tech manuals into English. I like my coffee black, my music low, and my evening spent on Lake Pinewater in that same boat Colleen wants to banish. Muddy Blessing is nothing special. 16 feet of dented aluminum, mismatched seats, just enough motor to get out where the fish aren't wise to people. It's not pretty, but it's perfect. I moved to Shoreline Ridge for one reason: the deeded dock that came with my house. That dock pokes out into the lake like my own private front porch for sanity. Sure, the HOA rules are thicker than a Bible, but buried in all that legalese is one golden line. My dock is not common property. The HOA can use it for events if, and only if, the owner consents. For 3 years, it was peaceful. Then Colleen Mercer swept in. Hurricane in a blazer, straight from some award-winning neighborhood in another state. Within a month, she's changed the newsletter name, started a visual cohesion task force, and started wearing a name tag that says Colleen, HOA President, Community Image Officer. I should have known that my old boat was toast. First came the notes. Folded, printed, stuck on my door. "Dear Nathan, your watercraft at Lot 17 does not meet Shoreline Ridge aesthetic expectations. I open my blinds. See my boat? Yep, still there, still ugly, still mine." The letter says I need to repaint, repair, or replace her in 14 days. I actually laughed. Sent Colleen an email. Boats registered and compliant. HOA doesn't regulate boat appearance on private docks. Best, Nate. 10 minutes later, "Hi, Nathan." While not explicitly stated, the board interprets visual harmony to extend to all items visible from common areas. We're happy to provide approved color swatches. Swatches for my 17-year-old fishing boat. I ignored it. She escalated. Started stalking the lake path with a DSLR camera, crouching in the reeds like she was on safari. Next HOA meeting. Yeah, I made that mistake once. She's got a blown-up photo of my boat on a slide labeled Shoreline Integrity Threats. Then the rumors started. Colleen telling neighbors my boat leaks oil, that it's unsafe, even called it a scrap heap on water. When that didn't work, she sent her vice president to guilt trip me. Nate, don't you want to be a good steward of our shoreline image? Right? Then came the fines. Bright yellow slip in my mailbox, unsightly watercraft, visual nuisance, $75 fine. I wrote back, quoting the covenants word for word. Next day, she waives the fine, but issues a warning. The board reserves the right to revisit this issue if community complaints persist. Translation: I haven't found a way to beat you yet, but I'm still looking. So, I started reading. And man, I read everything. The covenants, dock easement, lake regulations, even the town's ordinances on abandoned boats. And guess what? The HOA's only claim to my dock was a community use license, entirely dependent on the owner's ongoing consent, revocable anytime. They needed my dock way more than I needed their approval. Colleen had never read that far, but I had. Everything changed the morning of the tow truck stunt. My dog Baxter went nuts. I look out the window, see the truck backed up near the lake, Colleen on my dock pointing at my boat, board members waving their arms like ground crew. Per HOA authority, that derelict vessel is being removed, Colleen announced. I strolled down. Morning. What exactly are y'all doing? The tow driver just wanted to go home. I was told this was abandoned by her. He pointed at Colleen. She used fake concern. Nate, we've had complaints. Your craft's in disrepair. The covenants allow us to address nuisances. The covenants, I said, don't say squat about boats on private docks. This is my dock. My parcel. She flashed her clipboard. Notice of abandoned watercraft removal authorization. At the bottom, her signature, property authority / harbor representative. You're not harbor anything, I said. She smiled like a rattlesnake. My board voted. It's coming out. Tow driver looked nervous. Legally, I can't touch that unless she's got authority, and I don't have a boat lift anyway. This is probably not OSHA approved. Before I could answer, here comes the lake authority inspector, clipboard, sunglasses, looking like he eats HOA presidents for breakfast, followed by the sheriff's deputy. Turns out, calling a tow for abandoned blight requires notifying the lake authority. They'd check the records, my boat registered, dock owned by me, complaint filed by HOA president and acting harbor representative. Inspector looks at my boat, floating just fine. Ma'am, did you file this report? Of course, Colleen says, all proud. Someone has to protect property values. He points at the form. There is no harbor representative here, and your HOA has no jurisdiction over private docks. Colleen blinks. Well, I speak for the shoreline. The deputy coughs. No, ma'am, you don't. Inspector turns to me. Mr. Hollis, your boat's legal, your dock's private. If anyone tries to move your property without your consent, let us know. And when he says problem, you know he means crime. Colleen's smile cracked. Tow driver backed out, muttering he doesn't get paid enough for HOA drama. That afternoon, the inspector handed me a copy of the complaint. Note at the bottom. False statements may be subject to penalty. Keep that, he said. Might come in handy. It did. That night, I sent a certified letter to Colleen, the board, the management company, effective immediately, license revoked. No more HOA events, meetings, or representatives on my dock. Any entry is trespassing will be reported. Posted a copy right next to the dock. HOA board access revoked. Residents are welcome. HOA business is not. The neighborhood group chat exploded. Wait, the dock isn't HOA property? So Colleen lied about our community dock. Are we really losing the 4th of July fireworks spot because she hates Nate's boat paint? My personal favorite. Kinda impressed. That letter was savage. Next day, Jared from aboard leaves a voicemail, whispering like he's in a spy movie. Hey, Nate just didn't vote on the tow. That was her. Also, can we maybe use the dock for the July picnic? As neighbors. I called him back. Sure, as long as the HOA isn't involved. No banners. No Colleen with a clipboard. He sounded relieved, like he'd escaped a cult. Meanwhile, the Lake Authority sent a memo reminding the HOA they have zero regulatory standing on Lake Pinewater. I forwarded it to the board. Colleen wrote back a 3-paragraph essay about miscommunications in pursuit of excellence. Nobody else replied. Colleen's last stand? The annual Dockside Summer Kickoff, her favorite event. She sent out flyers. Join us on our beautiful community dock. Doubled down with an email. Despite recent confusion, the HOA will proceed as planned. The day of, I lock my dock gate. Hung the HOA board prohibited sign, set up a lawn chair with my dog Baxter, and let the deputy know I might call if things got weird. At 4 o'clock sharp, Colleen rolls up in her white SUV, board members hauling tables, banners flapping. Then they see the locked gate and my sign. Colleen goes rigid, storms to the gate. Nathan, open this gate. We have a scheduled community event. I stroll down, glass of iced tea in hand. Colleen, the license was revoked 30 days ago. This dock is deeded to me. It's always been private. You just never read the documents. Neighbors start gathering, watching like it's the Super Bowl. Dana, another board member, tries to de-escalate. Colleen, maybe we should move to the upper green. We are not giving in to bullying. Colleen snaps and tries to climb the gate. I hit call. Hey, deputy, it's Nate. Yeah, she's climbing the gate. Sheriff rolls up, lights off. Takes one look, sighs. Folks, this is private property. Owner has revoked permission. Unless you have a deed, you're trespassing. Colleen flails, waves a thick binder. We have an established practice. Culture isn't law, ma'am, the deputy says. Do you have a legal document? She flips, frantic, finally realizes she's got nothing. Mr. Hollis, do you want to trespass anyone? I look at the board. Most of them just want to sink into the lawn. Nah, I say. As long as they move it somewhere else and stay off my dock. Dana, voice shaking, says, we're moving to the upper green. Everyone, grab your stuff. And just like that, the caravan of HOA nobility retreats, Colleen hissing, this isn't over. The community won't stand for this selfishness. Funny thing is, from where I stood, the community was already walking away from her, not me. Within a week, the whole story, tow truck, fake form, dock drama, leaked to the neighborhood email list. Next HOA meeting? Standing room only. Topic: misuse of authority on lakefront issues. Colleen came in president, left as a censured board member, stripped of all her visual cohesion titles. Shoreline Ridge got weirdly peaceful. Malik Ortiz, the new president, soft-spoken, t-shirt, hands in pockets, knocked on my door to apologize. Should have read the documents, he admitted. Your boat looks like every boat my uncle ever fished from. We struck a deal. No more HOA events on my dock, but neighbors could stop by and chat. To celebrate, I sanded Muddy Blessing down, touched up the paint, and just for laughs, had my cousin make new vinyl lettering for the stern. Too ugly for Shoreline. The next time Colleen walked by, she saw the name, jaw clenched so tight I thought her teeth would shatter. Really mature, Nathan, she spat. Thank you, I said. I'm trying. Her dog looked back at me like he wanted to join the rebellion. Summer rolled on. Kids fished from the public pier. Neighbors waved from kayaks. Nobody cared about my boat's paint but me. The lake stayed the same beautiful mess it's always been, long before community standards ever existed. Every now and then, I'll see Colleen at the far end of the path, arms crossed, staring at my dock like it's a personal betrayal. But she never steps foot on it. She can't call anyone. She can't order tow. She can only stand there and watch my too ugly fishing boat bob on water she can't control. So here's the moral for anybody dealing with a clipboard tyrant. An HOA can tell you what color to paint your shutters, but they can't repaint your soul or your fishing boat. And if someone decides your life is too ugly for their vision of paradise, just remember, the real eyesore was never the boat. It was the clipboard. So let me ask you, have you ever tangled with an HOA Karen or had to fight for your own patch of peace? Drop your story in the comments. Is justice about rules or about respect for what's real? I want to hear what you think.